The tale I tell has been told before, of a voyager lost on his way to Party's shore. Now listen closely, friends, to these words of warning, or you too may find yourself at misfortune's door. His name was Odom, and it was Friday night. Pre-game completed, he prepared for a drinker's delight. A kegger had been proclaimed across the land, promising of sinful riches every man demands. 10 kegs had been purchased and sat in coolers outside, while sorority girls aplenty await travelers inside. Odom, no different than others, was intrigued to say the least. Oh, but arrogance and pride lead to horrible events, as Odom would soon find once off on his quest. Now Odom did not venture alone, an entourage he called with a vociferous tone. So off they journeyed, still tingling with anticipation, when their first obstacle caught their peripheral vision. Standing in a uniform of navy blue, a patrolman stood over yonder, a block or two. He spotted the boys approaching gingerly, and decided to test their sobriety. Odom, standing tall in his collared polo, told the officer their alcohol level was low. So low, in fact, it was not worth checking.
How stupid do you think I am, officer? To have already been drinking?
Not appreciating Odom's tone.
Mighty you may be now, but later a .0 will not be blown, and I will be overcome with glee, for you shall spend the night in the station with me.
Odom laughed loud and called his posse to continue on, but the officer pledged revenge by the coming of dawn. Now, a voyage of such length can frustrate the mind, so the entourage joked and told stories to help pass the time. Odom, a slayer of many females, led the surge of graphic sexual tales. The men, so amused, lost their wits, found themselves lost at Woodlawn and 17.
A churn we should have took,
yelled one of the men.
You shut up. You're not lost, but simply misplaced. I will ask directions, and this mistake will be erased.
Oh, but trouble was approaching as the boys turned around, for a one-eyed frat boy had heard their combative sound. Slowly he wandered over, impressive in girth, wearing a bright yellow GDI shirt.
You boys must be new, freshmen on this campus. I bet I can help you, for I know this place around us.
The boys grew calm, but Odom was unsure, for a frat boy in these parts seemed a bit obscure.
We are looking for a kegger great in size, that is full of sin, we have surmised.
That kegger, I know it well. I actually planned that party too to dwell. It's not far away from here, just beyond that distant frontier. Now follow me, boys, and sing of cheer, for soon we'll be the land of women and beer.
The boys filled with jubilee, but Odom and the boys did not agree. Fear had begun to sink and take hold. Odom knew turmoil would soon unfold, but Odom said little, hoping his wits were wrong, and decided to continue along. The voyagers followed the Cyclops until surrounded by trees, and then the boys were tackled, punched, and seized. An army of frat boys had sprung in anticipation, leaving Odom and the boys in complete desperation.
Freshmen should know better than to wander through these parts. The stupidity in your heads matches the innocence in your hearts.
The boys were bloodied and beaten, and the frat boys ran away, taking money and cell phones as the ambushes pay. Just as it seemed all was lost, a calling, a song, came whistled across. The song so beautiful the boys forgot their wounds and blindly wandered towards the origins of the tune.
I'm gonna give it all away to the next boy that I see.
And there they stood, three beauties blonde. The boys were silent, unable to respond. Never before had they seen such grace, but once again Odom felt out of place.
Why are these girls standing around? Why are they blasting, blaring their sound?
Odom knew his group must not stop to hover, for these girls were clearly undercover, but the men stood still, unable to stray. So Odom wrestled whether he should betray.
Leave now, and we may escape their song, and not spend the night with the drunk takes throng.
Then the lights came flashing from the road behind. The police had caught the boys blind. Run and escape they tried desperately, but 3 of them were caught to spend the night in the penitentiary. Odom did make it out of the law's grasp, but was exhausted from this trying task.
Oh, why have the gods cursed me so? I simply wanted to indulge in drink and hoe. Gods, you have tested and tortured thee. Can't you have mercy for a freshman like me?
And then, like Olympus emerging from the clouds, stood 10 chrome kegs with a plethora of girls around. Odom fell to his knees and looked at the sky, heart filled with glee. A kegger he had found, though tested along the way, by policemen and frat boys and a siren's display. But now he was at home in the comfort of beer, a plan, a dream, and a voyage he had pioneered. Though the gods show mercy, they also exude humor, for no one will flirt with a broke, bloodied freshman loser.
5, 6, 7. I'm gonna give it all away to the next boy that I see. When he comes round the corner and he looks at me, he's mine. Give it all away. He's mine.